switch statement in PHP, and that is exactly what this particular video tutorial will be focused on. As always, and as I've encouraged during the if statement series, once you understand the format, the rest is easy. Now see how this conditional actually works. All you need to do is say switch. Switch is a keyword in PHP, followed by parentheses. Within the parentheses, you will specify the variable you want to check for. More like the variable you're switching for. And then after the parentheses, customarily in PHP follows the curly bracket. Within the curly bracket, you will then specify as many cases as you want. Now notice that last of all, there is a special case there that is called default. Default is a kind of case that, as the name implies, is the default for all other cases. So a case is a condition on its own. Another case is another condition, depending on how many cases you have. But the default actually says, oh, out of all these cases, if there is any other one that comes up that you have forgotten to specify as a condition, I will take care of that. Now also notice that at the end of each case, there is the break statement. Why is that there? That is to ensure that once the condition has been met, it doesn't check again for any other condition. It just breaks out of the switch statement. Now take a very good look at the switch statement. Take a very close look at the format for the switch statement, as we're about to see it in action. And we're about to write a password program. So what this program simply does is check if the password is correct and either grant you access or deny you access. So I'm going to start off by creating the password variable and set it to the value John 123. All right. So that being said, let's get started. Let's start switching. So we're going to say switch. Why they call it switch, I have no idea. Remember, what follows after the switch is the parenthesis. And within the parenthesis, you are going to specify the variable we are checking for. In this case, we are checking for the variable password. Now, this is followed by the curly bracket. Remember, inside this curly bracket, you can specify as much cases as you want. Remember, I told you I just like this style of doing it. You can as well drop this down here and continue with your code here. It's very well acceptable, but I will just switch back to this very wonderful and interesting method. All right, right now I want to specify some cases. So I'm going to start with case. Now, remember from the format, you saw something like case 1. In this case, we are going to specify case for a value you want to check for. All right. So in this case, I want to check for Jack 1, 2, 3. Let's say the user supplies the password Jack123. What should happen? I want my program to actually echo you have partial access to the system. Fair enough? Alright. Now notice that immediately after this, after specifying the action, do not forget to break. Please. Now, once that is done, I can specify another case. In this case, I would like to specify the case John 123, the one that was actually supplied here, and this is supposed to be the correct password. So I'm going to then do this, the semicolon, add an indentation and echo you have full access to the system. Fair enough. Just add some space here, and I don't want to forget this. And customarily, you break. Now, you can add as many cases as you want with whatever action you want. At this case, I just want to supply the default. So what if none of these two passwords is entered? Again, do not forget the semicolon, the colon, underneath which I'll just make an indentation and then say echo access denied. Fair enough. Still, don't forget the end of statement and don't forget to break. Alright, so take a good look at this. Well, this is a keyword, switch. Case is another keyword that allows us to enter the value we want to check against the variable we are checking for. Alright, then case is still here, another keyword. This break too is another important keyword. Remember what it does? It ensures that if this condition, for example, was met the first time, it doesn't check for this one anymore. What it just does is break out of the switch statement altogether. That saves time, and I guess that is the main factor here. Alright, so notice the default statement as well and everything underneath it. So this is just a very basic switch statement, more like a password program. So let us do the needful, like I always say. So we're gonna localhost / the switch statement, but we are yet to save this, so I can come here and hit enter. So it says what? You have full access to the system. Why? Because the password that was supplied here tallies with this one, which says in case we get to this kind of case, what you do is say this, and this is it. So if, for example, I change this to Jack and I save this, did I spell that correctly? Yes. Then I refresh this, it says you have partial access to the system. And then finally, let me try something that is not even close, like ABC321. Then I save this and I refresh this, it says access denied. It's as simple as that. This is just a basic way to make use of the switch statement. Just remember, you are going to say switch. Within the parentheses, all you need to supply is the variable you are checking for. Then you can have as much cases as you can. Don't forget to break every case. Within the case itself and the break, you can now specify the action you want to perform if this condition is met. Then do not forget to ensure that something is done in case all of these conditions are not met. We have the default to take care of that for you. So just for a little bit of assignment, you could just decide to create that same age checker program we did with the if statement. You can try it with the switch statement to see whether you really understand the concept of switching in PHP. And so at this point, we have a basic overview of how switch statement works in PHP. There is still one more conditional we need to touch, which is the ternary operator. Join me in the next video and let's learn.